Why did you call your website Taroscopes? What does that word mean?
Well, because my main work is in the divination arts. I have an online mystery school that teaches the Hermetic arts of divination. That's astrology, tarot, Kabbalah, numerology. My main website is dedicated to that. My main work is, I come from a long line of clairvoyants who've worked there before me. My mother was actually from the Himalayas in India, so I've always been grown up in the mystery school tradition and have carried on that kind of work because I believe we've been talking a lot about psychic hygiene, and we've been talking about how man is to get in contact with his own inner spiritual guide. It is through these divination arts that we're the legacy from Egypt, but the legacy, we have a thing called the Western magical tradition. And this Western magical tradition is Druidic in origin by way of Egypt, and then it's moved into the modern world, but again, it's vastly misunderstood. It has been given a negative sort of connotation, but there are certain practices that are Western, bona fide Western magical tradition that people need to study and look into. We have a tremendous amount of information on the website about that if people are interested to find out with objective mind what these great mystery school disciplines are all about. That's what my main work is.
Yeah. Now, how do you know that when you mentioned tarot cards and all these other type of divination and whatnot? How do you know that by working them or however it is you're studying them or practicing them, how do you know that you're not opening a door somewhere or giving permission somewhere to some dark entity to come in and maybe either possess you or direct you or mislead you, even for that matter?
Well, that's a great question. And again, it is not so much the cards or the subjects. The subjects are nothing. They're no different than computer science. So let's get that straight down the middle. Learning music is exactly the same procedure as learning tarot. The tarot, the astrology, the Kabbalah, these things, as subject matter, right? They're no different. The mechanics or any other subject, they're equally as complicated or as uncomplicated as any other thing that exists that you might have to learn in your life. The reason why certain people have, been negatively affected is because they themselves, before they even go to those subjects, have issues within them morally. It is their motive, it is their intention as to why they'd be going towards those things. And there's no denying that some people have a very negative intention. Some people want to use these things so that they can have power. Some people want to use these things because they want to be able to influence other people. There's all sorts of motives. Let's not rule out the fact that human beings are incredible creatures. We have all sorts of subconscious and conscious motives, and it is those motives that will lead you wrong because these sacred subjects have protection. And not everyone in the world is just going to, plow in with their muddy boots, so to speak, and be able to come towards the altar of these magical sciences. These magical sciences are sacred and they're protected, and not everybody can bring their disgusting, consciousness into those arts. They will then be warded off with either insanity, or psychic problems and so on. So let's not look at the oracles, because some of the finest minds in the world have worked with those oracles and have never been ill-affected. Okay, so there's been great people all over the world who studied these subjects. Psychologists like Carl Jung, for instance, comes to mind, and many other, the greatest humanitarians and geniuses have sworn by these divination arts. So these divination arts are very sacred, but just like anything that is of the light, if that which is dark, comes to that light, the first thing that the light will do will shine up the filth and the dirt of that person, and that is often what happens.